In today's video, we're going to be solving scenarios involving tables. So we're going to be giving a real world scenario and a table accompanied with it and answer some questions and create a function rule just like we've done before and be able to solve a specific scenario. So in this first problem, we have George keeps a table to determine how much he should pay his employees before taxes. Complete the table and write an equation that will help George. All right. So one helpful hint when I'm completing the tables, I try to look for a trend in the table. Sometimes it's easy to look for a trend, or you could use the function rule also to help you fill out the table. But let me see here. So when the salary goes up, it looks like it's going up 18 here, right? And this is going up 2. All right. This goes up so that would be my slope at 18 over 2, right? And also, which is 9. So my slope is 9. I don't have my y-intercept, so I have to, again, plug it into my y equals mx plus b to figure out what my b is. So I plug in my 9, right, in for m. And then I also plug in a point. The number of hours is my x, and the 270 is my y. So we have 270 equals 9 times 30 plus b. So we have 270 equals 270 plus b. So actually, when I figure this out, when I try to isolate b from my table, or from my equation, I get my b is 0. So my slope is 9, my b is 0, so my equation is y equals 9x. That's my function rule. I don't have to put the plus 0. I can just use y equals 9x. Now, knowing that, I can fill out my table by plugging in 40 in for x. All right, 9 times 40 is 360. So that fills out my table. So I have my function rule. I filled out my table. Now, if George pays an employee $225, how many hours did they work? So in this case, I would, let me scroll down a little bit here and give myself some room. Oh, didn't want to do that. Lower it a little bit and do this. How about if George pays an employee $225, again, the salary is your y values. So you would plug that in for y into your function rule, and you have 225 equals 9x. And then you divide both sides by 9. You would get 25. So that means my x value is 25. So how many hours did they work? 25 hours. All right. So once you come up with your function rule, to define the salary, you would have to plug in the number of hours in for x. To find the number of hours, you would have to plug in the salary in for y and use those function rules. All right. So let's look at the next scenario. Let me erase some stuff here too. Ba-da-da. All right. So Emily wants to put a certain amount of her spending money from her paycheck into savings each week. Write an equation to help Emily determine how much she puts into a savings account based on her pay amount. Okay. So we, again, same thing. Find my rise over run. Change in Y over change in X. $25 to $37.50 goes up $7.50 or 7.5. No, that's not right. That's 12.5. Give myself some more room over here, can I? Or I'll just move the table. How about that? There we go. Look at that. So this goes up $12.50 or 12.5. And this goes up over 200 to 250 goes over 50. So my slope is 12.5 over 50. Now I'm going to leave this a decimal whenever you're dealing with money here. 12.5 divided by 50. 12.5 divided by 50 is 0.25. So that's going to be my slope. All right, now I got to find my b. So make my equation, y equals mx plus b. I plug in my slope. All right. I plug in a point. 200 goes in for x. 25 goes in for y. So we have 25 equals 0.25 times 200 plus b. 0.25 times 200 is 50. So we have 25 equals 50 plus b. Minus 50 from both sides. And we get negative 25 is my b. So I got my slope. I got my y-intercept. So my equation is y equals 0.25x minus 25. And you could double check. So that would be my equation. You could double check by plugging in the next point, 0.25 times 250. 0.25 times 250. Minus 25. Minus 25. And that is 37.5. And if I look here, it is 37.5. Look at that. So to figure out 400, you would do the same thing. 0.25 times 400 minus 25. Mm, 0.25 times 400 minus 25 is 75 m. So this here would be 75. Now, Emily wants to put away $100 in 1 week. How much did she make that week? So for this one, I'm going to give myself some space. $100 in a week, right? So the $100, that is how much she wants to have in their savings. She wants to know what her paycheck was. So that 100 goes in for y. So we have 100 equals 0.25, x minus 25. And then we solve for x. So we add 25 to both sides. And we get 125 equals 0.25x. Divide both sides by 0.25. And we get, some more room here. We get 125 divided by 0.25. 125 divided by 0.25 is 500. So how much did she make that week? She made $500, or just 500. Okay. So just taking another step further with these tables and being able to answer these scenarios is just a really important skill as we're moving forward. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. And remember, whether you're solving for X or Y, always give math a try.